Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video, we're going to remove the other prototyping package, which is auto-publish, so that way we can start to learn how you can publish and subscribe to data within Meteor and React. Let's get going on that now. Okay, so removing insecure is really just half of the battle in terms of securing your site. Now, one of the other things we need to do is remove auto-publish. Now, auto-publish produces basically every single item in the database. Besides not being performative once you have a lot of records, this is actually going to be bad. Let's say, we have a resolutions application here. Ideally, these resolutions would be saved to an individual, right? An individual user, of which we will be adding that functionality in. But what you don't want is you don't want your users to be able to have access to every single person's resolution. For instance, right now on the site, if we were to come in and we were just to do a resolutions.find, you can see it returns a cursor. In addition, if we do a find.fetch, I got to spell that correctly. Okay, find.fetch, you can see we get the objects, every single one of the resolutions. And if we had a whole bunch of different users on here, we would get all of those users' resolutions. So auto-publish is great for prototyping because it publishes everything and you don't have to set it up. But after you get past that, you're going to want to remove auto-publish and set up subscriptions and publish methods for your content. So let's go ahead and get rid of auto-publish. And you're going to see instantly when we come back to our site, all of our stuff's going to go away. Tracker React is engaged, and if we do Control M to bring up Meteor tools, it says we have no resolutions, even though we know in our database they do exist. That's because on the server, we're not publishing those, we're not making those available. Cool, so let's actually head to Sublime Text, and let's come to our server, and we created this publish.js file before. Now, you might be wondering at the time, why did we create this to be called publish? Well, this is where we're going to put in our publish method. So we can say meteor.publish, and now we're going to have parentheses and then quotes. Now the quotes are going to be naming this publish command. So it's going to be resolutions. In fact, we can make this something a bit more like what it actually is. For instance, we can say, let's do this all resolutions like this. So this publish command is going to return all resolutions. So if we subscribe to all resolutions, we're going to get all of them on the entire server. And once we get into actually assigning resolutions to users, we'll make another publish that allows us to subscribe to that individual user's resolutions. So from here, after the quote, but before the parenthesis, we're going to have a comma and then a function. We can have a function and then brackets. Okay, so inside of here, we're going to return our resolutions, need cap resolutions dot find. And inside of here, we're just going to be returning every single one of our resolutions. So at the end of the day, this is going to essentially give us what we had before, all the resolutions in the system. But that's only because we don't have users set up and I haven't set up a second publish command. When you get into writing performative Meteor sites, it's important that you're only publishing the data that you need. And that way Meteor has to keep track of less data, has to load less data, and your site's going to be more performative. So let's go ahead to the resolutions.wrapper. And now we need to actually make this happen. We need to actually bring in these resolutions by subscribing to them. You'll notice on our Chrome, we still have nothing even though we're publishing the information now. We need to subscribe to that information on our component itself. So the first thing we need here is a constructor. Now a constructor is essentially just a method that upon loading this class here, so we can say constructor and then parentheses like that, and then we need the super. Now, if you want more information about what super and constructor do, you can Google that. That is an ES6 or ES 2015 feature. We need to have the super here in React, and if we were going to be passing in props here, we would need to be passing in props to our super, but we don't. So right now, let's go ahead and just have this like this. So don't worry too much about the construct and super, they're just there. And we can say this.state. Now this is going to be introducing the React concept of state. Now Meteor also has session data or state data that's sort of global. It's like sort of like a global session variable. Well, this.state in React is linked to the component itself. This state does not leave this component unless it's passed in through a child prop. So it's not being passed anywhere. This.state is owned by this component only. So let's go ahead and say this.state is equal to, and then we have brackets. Now inside of here, we're going to have a state that is going to be subscription. If I spell this correctly, subscription, okay, and that's going to be a colon. And inside of here is going to be another object. And this object is going to be resolutions. Now we have a colon, and the resolutions state subscription is going to be meteor.subscribe, and then we're going to be subscribing to, if you looked in our publish, we had all resolutions. So we're publishing all resolutions, we need to subscribe to all resolutions. Okay, so this.state .subscriptions.resolutions is now going to be equal to subscribing to all resolutions. So what's great about that is now if we head back to our document, instantly all of our data is back. All of it's back, and that's great news. All simply from adding this.state.subscription resolutions. Now this little bit right here, setting the state subscription resolutions to a meteor.subscribe, that's what you get from Tracker React. Without Tracker React, you cannot do this, or at least not this same way. So we have this.state.subscription.resolutions, and Meteor and React just take care of everything else. Now the only extra thing we need to do is when we leave this page, or when this component unmounts, right? When this component's no longer being used, do you know what we don't want to do is we don't want to remain subscribed to that data. We want to cancel that subscription. So let's go ahead and down here add a method here, and this is going to be a React method called component and will unmount. Let's get rid of this comma. So component will unmount. So when it's unmounting, we're going to then get to call a this.state.subscriptions.resolutions.stop, and then parentheses because that's a method here. So basically when this component unmounts, then we no longer want to subscribe to this data. So we now have total flexibility and freedom to publish only the data we want to publish. And to illustrate this really quickly, let's go ahead and I'm going to do Control M, and I'm going to change the value of hello right here. Actually, let's make it the resolution number 1, which is Finish React Meteor Series. I'm going to click Update here. I'm going to change this false to true and save this, okay? Since we don't have a method of doing that right now on the front end of our site. So what we were going to say now is, you'll notice we have 9 resolutions available to us, and all 9 are being displayed. Let's actually head to our publish code, and let's have some brackets in here, and let's limit this query to where complete is equal to false. So now we're only going to publish the resolutions where complete is equal to false. And if you'll notice, once this reloads instantly, we're now have only access to 1 of 8. And no matter what database queries we run on the front end, we will not have access to that 9th one. Nobody will have access to that. It makes it entirely hidden from the front end. Cool. So I hope this was a good explanation of publish and subscribe. We're publishing the data we want right here, and we are subscribing it to it in our state, and then we get to use that data. And then when we no longer need to use that data, we're saying, hey, stop using that data. Cool. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you want to purchase this series before the rest of these videos are released on YouTube, and you want to see what's yet to come and what's even going to be held back from YouTube and only available through download or subscription, head to store.leveluptutorials.com and check out Meteor and React for everybody. I'm doing a lot of really cool stuff in this series, and it should take you to places that you haven't been with Meteor and React. So as always, this is Scott. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.